Hi, Ale. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Haley. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. We're looking forward to speaking with you about Tola International School in Limon Uno.
That's wonderful. I'm very much looking forward to sharing all that wonderful information with you.
Great. So, start us out. Tell us a little bit about Tola International School. You know, what grades you're working with, what classrooms you have.
Sure, certainly. So let me give you a little bit of background. Tola International School is a small private school in the heart of rural Tola, located right in the community of Limon Uno. We've been trying to, location is very key to us, and we try to keep that as accessible as possible, as much for everyone in the area, from let's say all the area that covers Guasacate up until perhaps Iguana or even further,
That's wonderful.
And so the school started pretty small, started with a small group of kindergartners since 2017. It was one group. We had one teacher, the head teacher, and of course an assistant. And we had very few levels of children, mostly between the ages of 3 and 6 years old. So not that much age gap between the children, right? In a matter of 7 years, we've grown to about 30 students now, almost. And we have preschool and elementary. So we're still working with PK3. We accept children as early as 3 years old, and then all the way now up to 6th grade. Yeah.
Very cool. And so where are most of your students from? What kind of internationalities are you having?
We have diverse background.
Yeah.
So the area, if you're familiar with the area is very rich in diversity. We just in the school, there's children from diverse nationalities, but most of them are usually a blend of Nicaraguans with another nationality, such as from the United States, or from Chile, or from Israel, or from Brazil, Canada. So yeah, we do carry a very rich, diverse student body.
And so are you speaking in primarily in English or in Spanish, or what languages are you speaking for your population of students?
It's a mix of both languages. We are a bilingual school, and hopefully we do get to include a little bit more of different languages in the future. We're looking into implementing French as well. We noticed that it's a very highly spoken language in the area.
It is.
I was surprised. So I'm originally from Managua, and when I made the move to Tola, I thought that English was going to be one of the strongest language. And to my surprise, like French is right there with English as well. So,
yeah, a lot of
we do. We teach in both languages, English and Spanish. Our curriculum is bilingual. We prepare our students to acquire for the language acquisition in both English and Spanish.
And so do you have like a percentage, or you're just pretty much speaking the languages throughout the day? Or are you certain subjects that are in certain languages, or how does that look?
So if we divide them into percentages, we want to say it'd be about 70-30. It's kind of funny though, because we have a very interesting dynamic. And so it would be, in practice, it'd be 70% Spanish, 30% English.
Okay.
But those percentages do change as children tend to rise in the different levels. As children tend to move up levels, those begin to change. We do have a lot of students that are local students that English is not their native language. And since it's not spoken at home, then they would acquire it at the school. But then when it comes to socializing, and so in classrooms, they'd be practicing both English and Spanish. But when it comes to socializing, they're going to socialize in their native language. And so I think that's where the magic really happens, because we have a blend of both students where we do have native English speakers. And so sometimes it's the other way around. When we get the native English speakers, they're learning Spanish as a second language. And so in practice in the classrooms, they're acquiring the Spanish and they're practicing the Spanish, but during socializing with other students, like during recess or lunch, then naturally the language that they practice is English. Right. And so this is where both students are forced to practice the languages that they're acquiring, the ones that are not native.
So that kind of segues into another question we have of, the teaching methods and your ideology and what you've been implementing at the school.
Oh, wow. Lots of great stuff. Our teaching methodologies are really like student-centered, focused, right? We try to work with students on since the groups are small and we're able to do this, we really try to meet students more one-on-one. And of course, we have different levels for us to know like what materials to work with and what groups that they're, to integrate them. But sometimes we're either, we're looking to excel our students who are the ones that learn a little bit faster than others. And then we try to raise those students that we feel that they learn not as fast as other students, right? So we do a lot of individual one-on-one because we have the chance to do that right now. But we also do lots of group work, research-based learning, project-based learning. We discovered project-based learning a couple of years when we began to implement it in the classrooms, and it's worked out really well. Basically, it's all of the theory that gets taught into the individual subjects. We give them a particular space where they get to integrate all of those subjects into one particular project. And students love that. They take lead in their learning. We also do a lot of play. The kids love to learn through play. Our philosophy at Tola International is, we nurture a love for learning. We want our kids to love to learn, to love to come to school, to love their environment. Not so much like the social part where they share with other students, but also the part where they connect with teachers, where they feel heard, where they feel that their needs are being met, and when they're learning. And sometimes that's as teachers, as staff, faculty in the school, that's our favorite part. When we look at their faces, they learn a new concept, and we look at their faces and they're like in awe.
Yeah,
oh, got it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, the school is also very holistic. We have a holistic approach. We're very interested in our students to acquire not so much the hard skills like the cognitive development, but also the emotional development, the social skills, the soft skills that they're going to need later on in life. Just recently in this year, we implemented we've had health education in more of a physical sense, right? Like your regular physical education class. But we noticed we have a little space every Friday, and now we have a class that's called socio-emotional health. And so we're beginning to work with our students that social emotional intelligence. Yeah, just to make sure that we are reaching all those areas as a person, as a child.
Right. Yeah, life skills that they'll have forever that they need. Yeah. That's great. And so that was another question I had was, can you walk us through a typical school day for your students? What time do they arrive? How does that look?
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Our schedule runs from 8:30 a.m. up to 2:30 p.m. And so students will begin to arrive at the school around 8:15. We give them a 15-minute window for arrival. Between 8:15 and 8:30, there's a lot of greeting. There's a lot of some play. They do some sort of play. They're excited to to see their friends. They're excited to meet teachers. Some of them will hang out for a few minutes in the classroom with their groups. Some of them will take advantage a little bit of like the outdoor play. Some of them will sit down and they'll do a little drawing or work on some more creative activities. And then we start classes right around 8:30. 8:30 we do value circles, and where inside each classroom, each group gets to share depending on the value of the month and depending on the topic of that teachers will have for them that morning or during that week. So every morning they come together and they share as a group. And then we go right into academics. So we try to do the tough or the core subjects in the morning. They'll receive a bit of language acquisition, then they'll receive some math skills, and then we'll move on to a recess break. And then afterwards, we'll jump into the Spanish language acquisition or the other language, and then some social studies or science. And then they'll do their lunch break. And in the afternoon, it's usually a lot of extracurricular, where we have music, where we have dance, we have sports, we have some project-based learning. We have those for different days of the week. But yeah, that's where all the hands-on practice happens.
Okay. And what does your school year run? What's the beginning and what months and kind of holidays?
So we follow a U.S. calendar or an international calendar where we begin the school year around early mid-August, maybe like the second week of August. And then we run all the way through up until the end of May or like around mid-June. It depends. Yeah, it depends on the academic calendar. It might switch a little bit, but usually around second week of August, and we run through all the way to like the second or third week of June.
Okay, and what holidays and breaks do you take? Do you take Nicaraguan holidays or do you take North American?
We take Nicaraguan holidays.
Awesome. And so tell us, from your perspective as the director, what do you love most about Tola International School? What makes it so special? And yeah, tell us some things about that from your perspective.
One of our missions is to make the school accessible for all, right? And so through our scholarship and our sponsorship program, we don't only want to take this grade level education, and we want to try and bring it to the community as well. So we've opened our doors to some of the children from the community who we have found sponsors who we can have in the scholarship program. And we know that in this way, this is how we're gonna uplift the community, right? Through a good education. I think that's the heart of Tola International, to be able to open those doors to all of the children that we can reach.
That's a beautiful outlook. I think that's wonderful. Not only reaching those families that are currently at your school, but that vision for reaching the entire community and serving the local.
And we think, there's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And so we follow that very strongly. I mean, we've partnered with a lot of community partners in the area, like CREA, Fun Limon, where we've done different kinds of activities with them. Like we use CREA as a space for the library, but they also help reinforce the love of reading in Spanish. We've used Fun Limon for extracurriculars, where we take our kids to a Taekwondo class and computer skills class as well. They have all of these different partners, like community partners. They have all of this rich resources.
Right.
We also do lots of visits to local farmers, for example, such as Caja Orgánica, where we took students to learn a little bit about like the organic process of growing plants. And that was beautiful. We've taken the kids also to the local museum in Rivas, so they learn a little bit about culture, history in local Rivas. And so we take advantage of all of these community organizations and opportunities that they're filled with education as well. So we do a lot of education outside of the classroom too.
That's great. Yeah. And so what would you say the students, the kids, what's their favorite part of Tola International? What do you think you see from them? What do they love about coming to this school?
Gosh, it's hard, I think they like a lot of things from their day to day. I mean, if you ask them, they'll say, "Oh, I love playing with friends," like recess or playtime.
Yeah.
But they really enjoy the Taekwondo class. They love that. They also enjoy the connection with their teachers. Like you can tell every morning or in the afternoon when they leave, and then the warmth that they leave their teachers with, or I think what their favorite parts, though, if I had to pick one, is when we do certain shows, like we do different, like a Mother's Day show or like a Christmas show. And so when the students are at the center of the stage and they get to present what they've learned, I think that is their favorite part. They feel heard, they feel seen. They feel proud.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's so sweet. That's awesome. Wow, the school sounds absolutely wonderful. Any like last suggestions or advice for any families who might be watching this and considering relocating to Nicaragua, considering relocating to Limon, Uno, and possibly putting their kids in Tola International? Do you have anything to share with them?
Sure. Not having a school is not a reason. That's for sure. So feel safe if you're looking into options for relocating. You have a wonderful school opportunity just right in the heart of the community that offers lots of rich educational development for the different ages that we provide for early childhood and elementary. We are also certified from the Ministry of Education. And so if, for example, because we do have a lot of families that relocate, and so if they happen to relocate from Nicaragua, from Tola, and they have to transfer to a different school, all of those transcripts in diplomas, they are certified from the Ministry of Education, and they will be transferable to other schools.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. Really good to hear.
Yeah, and and the environment in Tola, the heart of and the beach, the area is such a wonderful and beautiful place to live as well. And so I think that having a school in the area is a very advantageous.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Anything else that you want to share before we wrap up here today?
Well, no, I'd like to thank you and thank you for this initiative and opportunity. I think it's great that you're all taking the time for us to share this wonderful information about all the educational opportunities in the area.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our pleasure. Yeah, we appreciate you making the time to share.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you very soon.
Thank you, Haley. Same to you. It was great talking.